Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Mark, and this is my Dead Inventions. Today we're gonna be talking about episode 6. Okay, episode 6, and that's creating the tubes and the keyholes. Okay, we're gonna create the tubes that you see in here. These 5 tubes on both sides. Okay, we're gonna create these 5 tubes that you see in there on both sides. Okay, that's what we're gonna do today. Okay, what we're gonna need is a tube. All right. So, but before we get started, let's make sure that what we finished last week is completed. Okay. So hopefully you guys got, like I said, you guys, we show you guys how to tape the frame together. Okay. And wherever you taped it together, that's where you're gonna glue it. Okay. So that was your homework. As you can see, mine is already done. It's done. Pretty good, right? It's just basically taking the frame exactly where we taped it, guys, and putting it with glue. Okay? That's all we did. Okay? So I don't have a videotape of gluing it together because I have a videotape of us taping it together. And it's the exact same place where it's going to go. Alright? So now moving forward, we're going to have to work on our tubes today. And I'm going to give you the exact measurements, the exact cutouts. We're going to drill the keyholes. And then we're going to put it right into between the entry holes and exit hole. We're going to put it right where it's supposed to go. And then we're probably going to have to sand the holes to make sure that they nicely slug. Alright? But we're going to go through that later on. Okay, so right now, this episode about tubes, let's get right to the tubes. Okay, so what you're looking at right now is, okay, you're looking at the clear tubes. And that's these 5 tubes right you see right here on both sides. Alright? Let's put this right here a little closer. So now if you look at your screen, the clear tubes, the 5 clear plastic tubes are used as a path for which all 5 balls must travel through. There are 5 keyholes assigned to each tube with entry holes at the top of each tube and exit holes at the bottom of each tubes. Okay, so that's exactly what we were talking about. Okay, this is the tube. The entry hole is right on top. The exit hole is right on the bottom. These are from the frame that we cut last week, if you remember. Okay. That's the entry hole, and that's the exit hole, right in the bottom. Okay, and the tube goes right in there. All right, it's a lot of fun creating. I hope you guys really enjoying it. So now what we're gonna look at is the actual tube. Okay, the tube right here. It's the size of it is 7/8. Okay, it's 7/8. And then the inside is 5/8. Okay? So that's the tube you're gonna get. Okay? You can use any tube you want. Just whatever size tube you buy, that's the size hole you're gonna have to drill. So the best for my game was the 7/8. Alright? With the 5/8 on the inside. So if you look at the drawing, okay? And if you take a look at your screen right now, okay, if you see the drawing, the tube itself is 14.5 long. So whatever size you get it, you have to cut it down to 14.5, and make sure it's 7/8 on the outside and 5/8 on the inside. So reading along is the tubes are 14.5 by 7/8 as shown above and to the left. A shows the slits. Half by 1/16, starting 2 3/4 inches from the top, and every 2 1/4 inches the next 4 down. If I'm correct, when the slits are on the acrylic sheet, when the slits on the acrylic sheet is aligned with the slits on the tube, there should be an extra 1/4 inch tube above and below the sheets. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that the tube is going to be 14.5. Okay. The tube that we're going to get is 14.5. The inside from here to here, okay, is 14. the extra quarter is right here. The extra quarter is right here. That's the extra quarter on the top and the extra quarter on the bottom. Okay? So that we could glue it onto the top and to the bottom. That's the reason why we cut it 14 and a half. Okay? When we make the plexiglass, we're going to cut it 14 because that's going to go right on the frame. Okay? The two inner panels that we created is going to go flushed against that. That's what we're going to glue. And then you're going to see how everything all comes together. So the two that we're going to get is 14 and a half. All right? 14 and a half. Quarter on the top, quarter on the bottom, the plexiglass. You're going to see when we do the plexiglass, you can see the drawing that I'm talking about. All right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to have to slit this. Okay? I have a machine that I'm going to make cuts from. Again, you could use whatever device you have in making the cuts, but I would imagine that machine would be a lot better and a lot faster. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to create, the best you could do is take paper. This is what I did. Take the paper tape that you can write on, and then just put it along the tube, just like I did right here. Okay? And then you're going to make your markings 2 3/4 from the top to the first marking. Okay? 2 3/4. Okay? And then every 2 1/4 down, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4. And then you make your line. And you're writing on the tape. Okay? So that way when we cut it, all we're going to do is cut along that line. You could cut the tape. I'm going to cut right along that line and we should get our slit. Okay? When we're done, when we finish marking, finish cutting, that's what we expect to have. See how it was slit? Okay? We're going to have it just like that. And then once you have it slit, you're going to take the key that we're going to create later on that's used for the game, okay? And you're going to put it inside. Okay? You're going to put it inside just like this. Okay? The key goes right in there. Alright? So that's what I want you to do. After you make the slit, you want to make sure that the key actually fits. Because if it doesn't fit, you're going to have to either make it a little bigger or use a metal grinder and then just go inside the grooves and just make it a little wider. Okay? The whole point is that when you're completely done with your cutouts is that the key fits in every keyhole. Okay? That's what you want to make sure. Okay? It has to fit in every keyhole. Alright? And once you have that done, you have your tubes and your keyholes. And then we'll sand the top of, well, not this one. This one's already made. But the one that we just made, we're going to have to sand, I'm sure, just the inside. We're going to sand, and then we're going to snug the tubes right in the top and the bottom. Okay? We just got to get it enough so that it fits on both sides. Okay? And then once you have that done, and you have it all done for all 10 tubes, 5 in the front and 5 in the back, then you would have inserted your tubes. Okay? So now, before we do the tubes, okay, what I want you guys to have, what I want you guys to get, is this is a foam boards, okay? I got red and I got blue. These foam boards, we're gonna cut it and we're gonna put it on the inside of the game. We're gonna use that as a backdrop, okay? That's what you see right here. That's a red foam board, and that's the blue foam board, okay? We're gonna cut it and we're gonna put it right in the back. I have one right here that I already cut, okay? And I'm gonna show you exactly how it goes in. So the board is gonna be 14 by, this is 10 and almost 10 and a half. Yeah, almost 10 and a half. Okay. I'm gonna give you the exact measurements, but this is basically what we're gonna get. We're gonna measure our frame, which is almost 10 and a half, actually, and then we're gonna stuff it right inside. Okay. I'm going to stuff it right inside. I'm going to give you the exact measurements, and then we're going to snug it, push it in. So that it's snugged in there, okay? That's what you want it to do, okay? So when we're cutting the foam board, we're gonna cut it to size that's in here, okay? And then we're gonna just push it in. You don't have to tape it. It should go nice and snug, all right? So now let's take the measurements just to make sure so that we have the exact measurements that we're gonna cut out for the foam. So here's exactly 14. On the inside, I thought it was 10.5, and it is 10.5. All right, so it's 14 by 10.5 is what you're gonna cut your foam boards. Okay, and again, always measure your work. Okay, sometimes we could be off by 1/16. Okay, so always measure from the thing that you created. Okay, your game piece. Okay, measure from the two inner panels and from the top to the bottom. And it should be 14 by 10.5. All right. If it's off by 1/16 or usually by 1/16 it'll be off. If it's gonna be off at all. All right. Other than that, it should be a nice simple cut. So I'm gonna cut mine. You guys cut yours. Definitely start getting going with this. Okay, so get your tube, cut it to 14.5. It's just 14.5 long. Okay, not 14, 14.5 long, and then just make your markings as so. Okay, 2.5. 2 3/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4. Just like you see in the drawing. Okay. So if you look at your screen, just to go over it one more time, okay? You see that the first keyhole is created 2 3/4 down from the top, okay? And then every 2 1/4 inches down for the next 4 keyholes, and that will be your markings that you're gonna make on your tube, okay? On the piece of paper, your paper tape. Get your paper tape. Just put it across. It's pretty straightforward. Take a nice long piece. You got your tube. Okay. You just want to make sure it is exactly where you want it to be. And once you have it where you want it to be, okay, and there you go. You can make your marking. Okay, you get your measuring tape, and you just start measuring and make your lines. Okay, 2 3/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4. Cut all the way down, and then you're gonna have exactly what I have right here. And then we can get started with the drilling. Alright guys, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut my board. I'm gonna show you guys how I cut my board, and then I can show you guys how I do the taping. If you guys want, if you guys need a tutorial, I'll do that. And then I'm gonna show you guys how I drill it on the machine. All right, guys. So let me set up, and then we're gonna come right back, and then I'll show you guys how to get going. Be back in a minute. All right, guys, welcome back. So hopefully you guys made your lines on your foam board. Okay, I made my marking. This is a piece I'm gonna cut out. This piece right here. So what I bought this from Foamworks. Is a ruler that has its own guide. Okay, and what you do is you take the ruler and you put it exactly where the line is going to be, where the line that you created is gonna go. And then you take this this device that I got that comes with Foamworks. If you check it out, and you put this right on the guide, okay, right on the guide, and you just push down, and you're gonna go all the way across, and voila. It's really cool. It's specifically for foam. That's why it's called Foamworks, and I love it. And it gives me the cutouts that I want. Again, I'm gonna make the line. Well, I made the line. I'm gonna put the ruler to the line. I'm gonna put this on the guide. I'm just gonna cut across. Okay? So basically, what you're doing is you're taking this and you put it on the guide, and you just going across. Again, it's just for foam. I bought it specifically just to cut the foam. I could have used a blade and a ruler, but I use it for other stuff as well, and it works. So it's really cool. Anyway, so once you have your cutout, and you're gonna cut for both sides, team blue and then team red, and you're gonna put it right on the front. Okay, so you're gonna put it in. Let me lay it down for a second. So you're just gonna push it in. It just squeezes right in. Okay? And it squeezes right in. And that's it. You don't even have to glue it. Okay? You squeeze it right in, and you do for the blue team, and you cut it for the red team, and again, and that's your backdrop. Okay? So that's already done. Again, it's just foam that I use. You could use sticker paper. You could paint it. You could do really whatever you want. I was just having fun. I was being creative. I used the foam for the backdrop, and I also use the same foam for the ball pits, which we're gonna do later on. So for me, it works. I like it. It's more things to do. It's being more creative, so you can do it however way you want. The whole thing is you want to get 2 teams, 2 colors. You can pick any color you want. I chose red and blue. All right. So I'm gonna turn this back around. I'm gonna get the machine up back here on the table, and we're gonna start cutting the tubes. All right. Be back in a few. All right, guys. What we're gonna do now? We're gonna make our cuts. Okay. We're gonna cut on the markings that we just created. And I'm gonna use my machine to do it, okay? And I'm gonna show you how it looks when I'm done. All right? Key 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And that's what you want to do. So once you have all the cuts that you want, okay? You remove the tape because we want to clean it up and make sure that it is exactly the way we want it to be before we move on to the next. Okay? So now as we're looking at it, you can see my cutouts. Okay? All they have to do is be wide enough so that the keys fit. Okay? So all you're trying to do is making it wide enough so that the keys, they all fit in each slot. You could always fix it later on, as long as they fit in every slot. Okay? Don't move to the next until you've done that. As the whole purpose of working one tube at a time, one hole at a time, making sure that you've put the key to every hole. because the mistake that you don't want to make is that you don't check that the key fits, and we put it onto the game and we glue it on, and then you realize that the key doesn't fit, and you're gonna have to try to drill it while it's on there, and that could be a problem. Right, guys? So right now, that's all you gotta do. Again, I show you guys how to do it. Make sure you tape it up. Put your markings. Once you have your markings, you're gonna cut where that line is at. From tape to tape, cut the whole tape out. Okay, that's the width you're gonna need. There's no specific measurements. I put measurements to be specific. Really, this is on the inside panel. The one when we create the plexiglass, we're gonna make the exact measurement for the key so that it can be snug, so it doesn't hang over. And I'll show you how to do it when we do the plexiglass. Right now, we want to make the 5 keyholes on 10 tubes. This is only one, so you got a lot of work to do. You got 10 more tubes to go. I mean 9 more to go. Sorry. All right, guys. So get going with your tubes, and when you're completely done with drilling all your tubes, come back, and then we're gonna put it on the game panel. Okay. Like again, when we're ready to do that, we might have to be drilling, sanding the top part of each hole in the bottom. Okay. Most likely we have to do that. All right, guys. So make your cutouts on your tubes. I'm gonna do 9 more to go, and then we head back over here. All right, guys. Have fun. Hey guys, welcome back. So by now you guys should have done all your cutouts. As you can see, I did my cutouts. Okay. On all 5. All right. So now what you want to do right now is make sure that we get all of the little pieces that's inside. If you can see, it's very dirty. See that? And that's all on the inside. So we're gonna first take out the tape. I'm gonna show you guys how to clean the inside, so that you don't have all that stuff hanging around, because you don't want that. You want a clear tube, right? So I hope it was easy cutting. Obviously the machine makes it a lot easier for me. If you don't have a machine, a saw, which is very difficult, or a drill little tiny holes until you get the width that you need to insert all the keys. I know it could be very difficult, but that's why you gotta subscribe, and you can even win it, so you don't even have to build it. But if you can build it, then you'll find a way to do it, and I'll show you one way. So to get the inside cleaned out, okay, because it's very dirty, I use a tie. Obviously this is a tie that I'm not one of my favorite ties, and I take a hanger. I use so that I have a long stick to push the tie through. So I put it just like this, and then I put the hanger in there, and then I just squeeze, and I just push it all the way through to the other side. Okay? So once it's all the way through, okay, and since you have the tie long on the end, you're going to get a nice snug, and you should take everything out. Okay? It's pulling everything that's inside out. Alright? And then what I do is, I blow, take a wet rag or a damp rag, and voila. Okay? Nice and clean. Alright? And you do that for all your tubes. And all my tubes are cut. Okay? So now the next step we're going to do is, we're going to drill, we're not going to drill, sorry. We're going to sand the inside of the hose. The top hose and the bottom hose. Okay? Because I'm almost 100% positive it's not going to fit. See? Because that's 7/8 and this 7/8. So you just loosen up a little bit up here so it can stay nice and snug. So we're going to have to sand the top part and the entry hose and exit hose so we can snug this in. Okay? And it's not even that much. It's enough so that it can fit. Because all we got to do, remember, is a 1/4 inch in the top and a 1/4 inch in the bottom. So all we're doing. Alright? So let me set this table up. Okay, I'm gonna change everything around because we're done with this, so I can get this out of the way. I'm gonna set the table up so that I'm sitting in front of the camera, and we could drill, we could sand. Keep saying drilling, and I'm gonna show you what I use. You could use the sandpaper and just go on the inside, but I'm trying to be a little quick, so I use the Dremel. Okay, it's a sander. Okay, it's right on the tip, and I just right on top make a circular motion where the circle is at. Just give it a little bit of sanding so that the tube could go in right nice and easy. So that's what I use. When I created this one, I didn't have all the stuff that I have. Obviously, it was a lot more difficult. But being that you know, this is the channel, and I'm trying to show you guys the weekly basis while I work, I need to speed up the process. This took forever to build. Trust me. You do not want to know how I did this. Alright? It was box cutters and drills. Tiny little holes, like a million holes. Just get, but, you know, machines help speed up the process because I have a lot more games I would like to show you guys. So, let's stop talking. Let's start working. Let me change the table, and then I'm going to show you guys how I sand it and then how I fit it in so we can prepare it. Actually, that's all we're going to do. We're not going to glue it just yet because we need to put the plexiglass on top and make sure that our holes on the plexiglass are aligned with the holes on the tubes. Because once you glue it, guess what? You're not going to have the opportunity to shift it up, down, left, or right. But if you just snug it in and leave it there, you can still maneuver it. And you won't have that problem. Alright? So let's let me switch the table around, and I'll be right back. Okay. Alright guys, welcome back. So you should have your tubes ready to be inserted. They should be nice and clean, just like mine is. And then you should have your game piece, the game component, just as is with the padding on both sides. Team red and team blue. Make sure you have them both in before you put in the tubes. Although we're not gonna glue it in, we're just gonna make sure that the tubes fit. That's all we're gonna do, and then we're gonna leave it there until we're ready to do the plexiglass. Okay? Because like I mentioned before, once you glue the tubes in place, and the plexiglass holes that we're gonna, the drill holes that we're gonna make on the plexiglass are not aligned with the drill holes on the tubes, it's gonna be very difficult to fix that out. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna take sandpaper or the Dremel, which is what I have to sand it down, and you're just gonna make a circular motion on the inside. Okay? Take the tube, put it in, and just make a circular motion, twisting until you have taken out enough so that the tubes fit inside. And if you have this, obviously it'd be a lot faster, but you have to do it little by little, because if you make the hole too fat, okay, if you drill the sand, if you sand it down and you make it too wide, it's going to be a problem. Not that much of a problem, but it is going to be a problem. So I already did mine. So what I'm going to do is, since we're not doing it together, I'm going to take tape. I'm going to put it in the bottom of the key track. Okay? All the way in the bottom. The tape is just there temporarily, so that when we put the tubes, since it's not being glued, it stays and it doesn't go all the way down. That's all we're doing. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to tape it just like that. Okay? So now I have my 5 tubes. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to insert it through the top hole, which is the entry hole, all the way down to the exit hole. And the tape is what holds it up. See? Doesn't let it come down. Okay? And we're going to do that to all 5 tubes. You gotta love it when you put in the work and it all looks good. So there you have it. Okay, there goes the tubes. Insert it. There goes the top. And the bottom is held by the tape, so the tape keeps it from the tubes from going all the way down. And that's basically it. That's all you're gonna do right now. And you're gonna do this for both sides. Okay? You're gonna sand the holes just enough so that it fits. Okay? As you can see, they all fit. Okay? And they're all nice and even. Okay? Because you guys put in the work. You put in the work of making sure that the entry hole and your exit hole was perfectly aligned by the way we drilled it. And then as you see, when you put in the poles in, the tubes, you can see how aligned they are. And if you follow the blueprints that I'm giving you guys, you're going to create a nice prototype of the money ball. And like I said, for those that cannot make it, it's very easy. You just subscribe, and I'm gonna take one lucky person out of all my subscribers, and I'm gonna give it to that person. I'll contact you, and I'll have it delivered to you in your house. All right, guys. So that's basically it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do the blue side, okay, and get the tubes going on in here, and then we're done. We're done. Next week is episode 7. Creating the key track, I believe the key track, yeah. So that'll be this part right here. Okay, this part right here we're gonna be doing. All right. It's a lot of fun. Actually, it's not. It's not the key track. It's the ramp. Sorry, we're not doing the key track. The key track is afterwards. We have to do the ramp. The ramp is what you don't see on here. The ramp is what you don't see on here. Okay, it's inside. Okay, and it's basically taking a piece of wood, going from the top over here to the bottom. Okay, and that creates a ramp. So when the balls go down the tube, they go down the ramp and into the ball pit. So yes, it's the ramp, the inner ramp we're gonna create, and then we cover that with the key track. Sorry. All right. I just don't have my papers with me, so I was speaking without actually checking. So yes, next week we're gonna do the ramp again. This week is just getting our tubes there, getting them cut, getting them in place. We're not gluing them. We're putting the tape to hold it up together. When we put the plexiglass is when we're gonna glue them, and then make sure they're exactly where we want them to be. All right, guys. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and do the blue side. Okay, it's the exact same thing as the red. We sand the hole. We put the tubes in, put the tape in the bottom, and we leave it like that until next week, where we create the ramp, and then the following week the key track, and then the ball pit. And then at some point in between all of that, we put in the plexiglass. Actually, and then you're gonna see how it all comes together. All right, guys. So again, thank you again so much for watching. Thank you for your patience. Again, this is my first time doing this, so I'm learning as I go. Hopefully, I'm giving you guys enough information so you guys can lean on and create your own prototype of the money ball. And again, you know, for those who cannot make it, definitely subscribe, and you might even win it. All right. Well, this is it. This is the one you're gonna win. The one that I'm creating right now. All right. All right, guys. So take care. Enjoy your weekend. I'm tuning out. Make sure you guys tune in next week, and let's get that inner ramp in there. All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.